Good afternoon. I'd like to thank everybody who's not in Columbia this afternoon at the other press conference. But I want to start off real quick by saying congratulations to Coach Spurrier at the University of South Carolina on an incredible career at Duke and Florida and South Carolina, and everything that he accomplished and the way he accomplished it. I've been able to get to know Coach Spurrier a little bit and have tremendous respect for him, not only for his football mind, but he's genuinely a good person and a lot of fun to be around. So congratulations to him and in his retirement, and good luck to the Gamecocks the rest of the year, except for one outing. So, but last weekend was obviously a very, very memorable weekend for our program and our players, and especially for the 20 cadet athletes that received their Citadel ring this past weekend on Ring Weekend and Parent Weekend, and it's a special day in the life of a Citadel cadet. And then as we talked with the players Friday night, the perfect way to remember that and really what will punctuate that weekend in their minds 20 years from now is a big Southern Conference win over a tough opponent. So it was a special weekend for those guys and for everybody that was back on campus for this Parents Weekend, and really excited about the way our team played, and to be able to beat a team like Wofford and get our second SoCon win of the year was obviously a great afternoon. So proud of the way that our team executed on the field. Like the aggression of our defense and the physicality that we played with there. Thought we executed very, very well on offense, and very pleased with how fast we played on the offensive side of the football. I thought the special teams were a huge factor in the ball game, especially in the first half, and probably one of the defining things with our control of field position in the first half. So great job there, and really it all goes back to the way that our team prepared for that game during the weekend practice. They went out and they practiced very physical. They prepared and worked very hard on the things that we were doing in all three phases, and to see those efforts and that preparation transcend to the field on game day was obviously very pleasing for all of us. Congratulations to Tevin Floyd for being named the Southern Conference Defensive Player of the Week yesterday for the second time this season. Tevin's a leader not only on our defense but in our locker room and with our entire program, and one that I'm very proud of because he does things the right way, not only on the field but off the field. And so I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to be able to coach him. So the biggest thing to take away from Saturday is that we're 2-0 in the Southern Conference. That was our goal. So to be sitting here at almost mid-season in first place, tied with Chattanooga, is obviously a good place to be, and the best thing that we could hope for at this point. We got a tough task ahead of us this week with Samford. We've been fortunate that 4 of our first 5 ball games this year have been at Johnson Haygood Stadium in front of our fans and in front of the Corps Cadets, and it's been we had another great atmosphere here Saturday. It was very electric on the field and in the stadium. And so now we prepare for our first road conference game of the year. And we're going down to Birmingham, Alabama, and facing a quality opponent. Samford is 3-2 on the year, 1-1 in the SoCon, coming off a big win this past weekend over VMI. And, the one thing that stands out, I take their too deep, and I'll always kind of star as we're watching film different players to talk about, during the press conference or throughout the week to the media or whatever. And I look down at my paper, and most of the paper's starred. It kind of sticks out the talent that they have, especially the weapons that they have on offense. They're loaded at wide receiver. They have Michael Eubank, who we faced last year, who's a transfer from Arizona State. They have 2 outstanding running backs. They have a large, talented offensive line. You flip over on defense, and I think the anchor of their defense is Michael Pierce. Of course, his brother Miles plays for us. I wish that we could work some kind of a package deal for those two to kind of go sit and watch with their parents in the stands this weekend. I'd make that sacrifice. But Michael is an outstanding player, nice young man, and kind of the anchor of their defense. They have a great defensive line. They have good talent at the stand-up positions. Justin Cooper, middle linebacker, had a really good game against us last year. Very talented in the secondary, so you flip over to special teams, and it's exactly what you'd expect there. Usually when you're talented at the skill positions on both sides of the football, you're very good on special teams, and they are. Hamilton and McKnight both do a great job in their return game there. So, we're facing a quality opponent, and Coach Hatcher's done a good job in his first year at Sanford with taking the talent that he inherited and keeping them together and have them playing very, very well right now. So, it'll be a tough test for us, but, it's a chance for us to go on the road. It's a chance for us to have an opportunity to win our third conference game of the year and to have a chance to remain in first place. So it's a big ball game for our program and a big ball game for our players. So we're excited to make the journey. So with that being said, questions from the media?
Just want to get the Spurrier questions out of the way. Two things. One, you've had interaction with him at the Fisher DeBerry function up in Columbia. So just about your takeaway from getting to know him as a person. And second of all, I know it's a month away, but are you kind of disappointed you don't get to face a Steve Spurrier-led team in South Carolina at the end of the season?
Well, I think, number one, the thing that you take away from meeting Coach Spurrier and talking to him one-on-one is how much different he is, in person to what you see sometimes with the media. I mean, he's just really kind of a down-to-earth, good old Southern guy. He's enjoys playing golf and enjoys competing, so I can relate to that. But, he's an enjoyable guy to talk to. And naturally, for me and at the point in my career that I am, it would have been an honor to face, a coach as legendary as he is. And so I won't get to the opportunity, but still looking forward to that game at the end of the year.
Mike, did Dominique play as well as we thought he did on Saturday after looking at the film?
Yeah, I thought it was Dominique's best performance of the year. You look at the way he executed our triple option offense. He had one misread on the day, which again is a good day for him. I thought he ran the ball very effectively, and I thought he ran the ball with authority. I thought he threw the ball very well. I thought he looked very confident and composed. And the biggest thing with me as the head coach, and I go with a lot of stuff on gut feeling. I was never unnerved with him Saturday. I felt very comfortable with him at every point in that ball game Saturday, and I think that really is a credit to him and how much he is maturing each week as a quarterback.
I guess Quinlan Washington's targeting penalty was upheld. Your reaction to that decision, and then how will you'll miss him for the first half?
Sure.
Saturday, how will you replace him?
The targeting rule is a good rule. The reason that it was implemented were the right reasons, and it has successfully taken out of the game the unnecessary hits that it was intended to take out of the game. Now, I do not feel in any way that was what that play was, and I don't think anybody does. But at the end of the day, that's what it was called. So it was upheld. So we will deal with that and move forward. We're blessed that Dondre's playing very well right now. We have some of our other guys that we'll use to take care of that deal there in the first half. And then we'll look forward to having Quinlan back fresh and ready to go at the beginning of the third quarter. He's
also played a big role on return teams, right?
Yeah, and fortunately, Dee Delaney's a pretty good guy to have as a backup right there. So I don't think that I think that Dee will do just fine in handling those responsibilities.
We've talked a lot through the season about how much the secondary has improved over last year. Is this game the biggest challenge they'll face so far?
Well, I think this game is the best passing team that we've faced so far. So I think certainly it's a challenge right there, and it's one that a lot of things that we have not shown yet will be used Saturday night. Some things we really worked on last summer. Some of the things that we worked on last summer, and so I'm looking forward to seeing our secondary go out there and compete Saturday.
And I have one more. Tyler Renew played well.
Right.
Saturday, how will you deploy your fullbacks? going
I'm
forward?
sure you saw the two deep today. I've listed all three as co-starters because really they're all three just a little bit different. And we'll kind of determine with the game plan this week and how practice goes throughout the week who will get the nod at the beginning Saturday. But I would expect all three of them to be ready to play.
With the exception of the Western game where you guys kind of won that in the second half, overall, when you look at your wins and overall just how the season has gone, you haven't had that game that's come down to the wire. Most likely, if you're going to beat Samford, a lot of people could see that happening this week. Are you kind of anxious to see how that goes? Because that was kind of one of the issues from last season that was talked about coming into this season. Can you guys make the plays when the game matters most in the end? Are you anxious about that, or because the way they've played in conference play, you're not concerned about that?
Well, I think, number one, I think you look at the series of Samford traditionally, and again, I've only been involved in one game, but it came down to a kind of a final play deal last year. But traditionally, this game is a very tight ball game between the two schools. I think you have two very good football teams squaring off Saturday, and I do think there's the chance that it's going to come down to a kind of a last drive kind of deal. So, I'm excited about seeing our team go down there and play in that kind of ball game. And I do think that, you look at the film, we've watched obviously the game from last year, the last 48 hours. I've watched it a couple of times, and there is not much resemblance between the team that wore our uniform last year and the team that played this past Saturday in Johnson-Haygood Stadium. I mean, it's a different football team, and so I hope that means that we will handle those situations much better this year, and I would anticipate that we do.
Seems like the formula with your defense, first of all, you guys are stopping the run in conference play, but also you're taking the ball away. Do you feel like you have to have turnovers again this week, or can the defense just kind of make the stands? Because it seems like that's been the game changer for your defense, is your ability to take the ball away from the other team.
Right. Well, I think that one thing you hit on is I think we do have to defend not only their passing attack, but I think we've got to defend the run game very well because they have two talented running backs and a good offensive line, and that's really how they've kept people off balance of being able to run the football effectively. As with any ball game, I think turnovers are really key week to week in the game of college football and at the pro level as well. So obviously if we can force turnovers, and again, like we talked about last week, if we can force turnovers and give our offense extra possessions, give our offense great field position, obviously that's going to better give us an opportunity to win the ball game. So I think it will be a big factor.
Coach, they have gotten 74% of their yards via the pass, but they've actually run the same number of run plays as pass plays, both 190 times. So is that rushing attack in this particular case designed to keep teams honest? I mean, because obviously they throw the ball as well as anybody does in the league right now.
Well, I mean, I think that the design of the offense, I mean, they're a spread offense that's they're going to spread the field horizontally, and they're going to attack you horizontally and vertically. So you're going to see a lot of the screen game tied in with the running of the football, and some things. Sometimes they're going to say we're going to run the football right here. Sometimes it's going to be a check. They have the ability to sit there and run G power and counter tray and inside zone right at you and be very effective. They've also got the ability to run the tunnel and bubble screens out wide and be very effective because of the talent at the receiver position. And they've got the ability, because of Eubank and his arm, to attack you down the field with their speedy receivers. So I just think that it's a deal that they have a lot of weapons on offense, and there's a lot of different ways they can attack you.
You used the word aggression a while ago when talking about your defense. Some coaches are able to get over penalties of aggression more than just a stupid penalty here or there. Are you one of those coaches? What do you feel about some of those that you had?
Well, I mean, we've addressed the penalty issue from this past Saturday. We cannot have some of those fouls if we're going to win the big ball games that we want to have an opportunity to win down the stretch. So that's one of those things. Coming into the game, we were one of the lowest penalized teams in the league and in the nation, and I do think it's a little bit of an anomaly last weekend. There were a couple of them that were discipline issues that we've addressed those. A couple of them just some learning issues with a freshman, Tyler Davis, and a Wofford player's helmet comes off, and you got to stop, at that point. So, so I think there's some combination stuff there, but we've got to get that cleaned up.
Anything else, Coach?
Mike, you know Chris Hatcher pretty well. What tweaks has he made that you can see from last year to this year?
I think a couple things. One, I think as a whole, I think they're playing with maybe a little more energy than they did a year ago. Number two, I think that Michael Eubanks, I think his throwing motion is much cleaner, a much quicker release, and I think he is playing much, much better. I mean, it's significantly better than he was a year ago. And so I think, Chris is a college quarterback and kind of an offensive guy, and so I would attribute that a lot to him. Anything else? Okay. We got, as we said before, we got Dominique Allen, Dondre Copeland, and Tevin Floyd with us here today, so excited to hear what they have to say. Dominique?
Dom, I know it's tough to evaluate yourself. Do you feel like you turned a corner of sorts on Saturday?
I just felt like I played a very crisp game, did what I wanted to do, which is manage the football game very well and operate and be operator back there and just handle the offense. And I thought I did a fairly decent job at that. There's always room for improvement, so each week I just got to keep getting better and better and focusing on being the leader of the team and the leader of the offense. So that's just the only things I need to work on and improve, and just trying to get everybody to come together so we can do this consistently week in, week out.
I think a lot of people were excited to see the passing game work as well as it did. I'm curious if that was just more of a setup against Wofford, or do you feel like that can be more of your repertoire going forward, or is it just basically a week-to-week game plan kind of thing?
Kind of as it is right now, it's kind of week to week, just going in week to week, seeing what we have to do. We have a base setup plan, game plan going into every game, and we see that they're playing our run game too hard. We'll start throwing the ball to get them off our backs a little bit and loosen them up. But hopefully, I like to throw the ball. Gives me a chance to take less shots, but we'll see how it goes as we go forward in the season.
This past ball game, your defense got the ball back for you guys a lot. So and then you had field position going for yourself. So just kind of talk about how the flow of the game was better because you had a pace that kind of favored that.
It definitely helped us tremendously from an offensive standpoint, seeing as we have positive field advantage every time we got the ball. I think we might have started on our side of the ball or our side of the field maybe once or twice that whole game. So it's definitely a positive and helpful thing for us when we don't have that much field to go through to score, and we can just put quick drives together and put points on the board very quick. It just keeps us in a good tempo and pace like we do in practice, and just gets our guys more comfortable and easy at mind that this is going to be a good game for us, and our defense is playing their hearts out, and we're putting together quick drives and getting in the end zone.
You excited to see how this team performs under pressure in a close game? Coach was mentioning the history of this series so far. A lot of games have come down to the end. Haven't had that yet this season, and
Right.
already halfway through. So anxious or excited and maybe confident because of the way you guys have played in conference play?
It's definitely going to be exciting. This will be our first real good ball game of the year. Coach Houston said it's going to be a close one, so we just got to keep our guys composed and be able to perform under pressure. So we're just going to have to put the pressure on in practice and get them a little hesitant, but still be able to perform and play their good fundamentals like they did last week, and I think we'll be okay. Thank you so much.
Dondre, you're involved with run defense and pass defense at your position. Can you talk about the team's improvement against the pass this year? You haven't allowed a touchdown pass this season.
I think the guys have just been really disciplined with our eyes, so when it is passed, everyone recognizes it so we can rally to it and get it on the ground.
Is there any schematic or philosophical difference from last year? If you understand what I mean, any strategy
I don't think
changes?
so.
No?
No, sir.
Tell us about that last play.
It was really exciting. When I caught it, I looked to the sideline actually to see what the coaches wanted me to do, and all of them told me to get down except for my coach, Coach Weaver. So, so I just went for it.
How long can you guys' defense keep up this rate of turning the ball over? You guys have done it so well against FCS competition. I know that's what you want to do, but I mean, you guys are kind of making it look easy. How hard is it to keep turning the ball over multiple times in a game?
Well, that's something that the coaches really harp on us during practice. So during practice, we try to get a lot of turnovers so that in the game we do the same exact thing. So it's kind of like second nature to us.
Last year, Coach Houston has mentioned that the Sanford game is one of the ones that was the toughest to get over. Can you take us back a little bit to how that kind of felt at the end of the ball game and what that has done to kind of inspire you going to their place this time?
I mean, it would be great to beat them at home. We obviously we're trying to win the conference this year. The last game with them was really tough. I think we can go down there and beat them though.
Tevin, what's your view on the improvement on pass defense this year? What's caused that?
I believe the biggest thing that has caused that, of course, the coaches have been putting emphasis on it, but our guys in practice, the secondary with D. Delaney and Cooper and Diggs and Willis and Khalid Williams, they all challenge each other every day. They seem like they have some type of competition going every day of who can get the most picks and who can make this play and who can make that play. And I feel like that's really what's driving the difference, and it carries over to the game. And I love seeing the guys go out and have fun and make plays.
Last year you had them 4th and 17 at the end of the game, and they got away with it. How disappointing was that?
That was very disappointing, of course. In the last few minutes there, we just weren't able to finish the ball game, and that's something we've been working on throughout the offseason last year and beginning of the season this year is finishing ball games. And I feel like if we can finish ball games and ones like that one, and not put ourselves in those situations, we'll be good.
You excited to see how this team does in what is anticipated to be a close game? You guys haven't had that test this year. You had several last year, and a lot of them came up short, or you guys came up short. So is it kind of an excitement knowing that this could be the test to see how you guys perform down the stretch in a conference game?
Yeah, I feel like every week I'm confident in our defense, but it is exciting to go down in what is expected to be a close ball game and perform. I feel like if we handle our business and do what we're supposed to do, then I feel like we'll come out on top in that ball game. And yeah, we'll come out on top in the ball game.
There have been, I mean, you talked about the competition that the corners and the safeties have, but with the number of big hits that have been out there this year, I mean, it would almost seem like there could be a competition going on there because the team has been a lot harder hitting this year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I feel like we have been as well. Coach Houston's always talking about being more physical than the opponent at the point of attack, and I feel like we've made an extra effort to do that this year, and that's what's causing some of these turnovers and big hits and fumbles. So I feel like as long as we keep being more physical than the other team at a point of attack, you'll start to see more turnovers and stuff start to happen for our defense.